I'm just going to do exactly what Ambassador Kano just said. After the video, I should just say thank you very much. May we have a good day. But if I'm to say thank you very much, let's have a good day, that means I will not find disciples here. And I'm here looking for disciples, people who will change the narrative and people who help me change the narrative, not just for Africa, but globally. Our moderator, Dr. Judith Kerensky, Professor of Psychology and Education, Department of Clinical Psychology. Dr. Matt Blanchard, Director, Department of Clinical Psychology, Graduate Master's Program, Teachers College, Columbia University. Our Ambassador, Michael Imran Khan, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of the Republic of Sierra Leone to the United Nations. Dr. Mary Mendenhall, Director of Education, International Education Department, and Director, College Born Center for African Education, delivering the honorary address. The Ambassador of Sierra Leone to the United States of America, the wise man from the north, Ambassador Slick White, our staff of the Sierra Leone Permanent Mission to the United Nations, because our staff, we have, when you address the Sierra Leone mission to the United Nations, the Sierra Leone Embassy to the United States of America becomes jealous. So let me say, the ambassadors, I recognize all of you, and I also recognize Madam Finda, who sits at the United Nations, and whenever I want to cause trouble at the United Nations, I call Finda. I said, look, now this is what I want, and get it done. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, of course, a wonderful student of this wonderful and great university, Columbia University, the peoples of Dr. Kerensky, good afternoon. Good afternoon. For the very first time, I wanted to say good afternoon also to dear friends and colleagues from Sierra Leone. And because when you are at an institution where you have your children, sometimes it's just nice to acknowledge their presence. And I want to say I'm home. I'm hoping what I'm saying home.
Thank you.
Mohammed, Asana, and Agnes. I'm humbled and happy that you are here today. I bring you all warm greetings from Sierra Leone. And let me, on behalf of His Excellency, the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, and the people of Sierra Leone express my gratitude to the Teachers College of Columbia for not only organizing this event, but for inviting me to engage meaningfully with all of you today, which is no ordinary day but the International Women's Day. Today, through the theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, we proudly and happily celebrate acts of courage and determination by ordinary women who have played an extraordinary role in the history of their countries and communities. The theme is very close and dear to my heart. Since I became First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, my goal has been to inspire inclusion for a better world. Please join me to applaud all the great women who have worked tirelessly in pursuit of women empowerment and gender equality. Our world today is facing challenges such as conflict, political instability, climate change, and a worrying scourge of violence, hatred, racism, racial discrimination. It is quite evident that in all these moments of uncertainty, distress and deprivation, the women folk who are struggling to protect the children and girls are the one who always suffers. Sierra Leone, like many other countries around the world, experienced a high prevalence of sexual and gender-based violence, which came to prominence during and after the Civil War. It was so rife and very disgusting when my husband assumed power in 2018 and I became the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Girls as young as 6 months old were raped. There were a couple of murder cases involving young girls from occurring hands of perpetrators of SGBVs. Girls were taken out of school due to pervasive child marriage. Girls were trafficked and forced into sexual slavery. Menstruation was preventing girls from full attendance in school. Their performance and output in school. HIV and AIDS infection was rising. Very depressing also was that victims of SGBV, especially rape, did not access justice easily, compounded by the complacency and participation of our communities, our religious and traditional leaders, as well as influential politicians, the rich, the famous, and the powerful people in our society. Sexual and gender-based violence is caused by several factors, and they are often expressed in established and chronic manners of society that often branded and celebrated in the name of tradition, religion, culture, customs, and norms. But all of these are only upheld to perpetuate violence against women and girls. Painfully for all of us, there are practices including women being considered inferior, discriminated, restricted from accessing factors of productions are still ongoing in our communities, which regretfully remain male-dominant and favored. That means we live with SGBV women and girls who continue to endure this ugly situation. I don't need to tell you that for a woman and a girl, it is very depressing to face the continuous existence of this barrier to gender equality that are expressed so blatantly all over the world. From birth, the girl is already disadvantaged in forms, at family levels. The news of the birth of a girl child does not receive the same celebration as the birth of a boy child. There is the fear and apprehension, the family name of, a girl is supposed to be married off, so they don't carry the family name. Automatically, when they marry, they're going to carry their husband's name. So in Africa today, people are just apprehensive when they give birth to a girl because they want to keep their family name, as if the family name is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The community, the freedom of the girl child is prescriptive around kitchen. It's supposed to be in the kitchen and you're supposed to prepare yourself to be a mother. So what's the point? You should not be talking about education, you should not be talking about university, you should not be talking about what your dreams are, what you are supposed to become, and the things that you want to be. In a workplace, when a woman is fortunate to be the boss, you're only the boss on paper. You're actually not the boss. The way they treat you, they don't expect you, they still see you as an inferior being. You're not supposed to be at the front. As a first lady, you're supposed to be in the kitchen cooking. When guests come to the house, you should just make sure the table is set and everybody comes and eats. And then when they finish, they say, "Thank you, Madam First Lady." That is our own concept, and that is how we are supposed to be seen as women. And that really does not look like me, right? These horrible statistics of infant and maternal mortality, the reason why we have high rate of infant and maternal mortality in our communities, in our countries, is the fact that the value of women has been placed just like commodity. That's what I'm here to change, and that's the narrative I have been fighting to change in the last 5 years. because of this, you see that we have a high rate of fistula. I don't know how many of you know what fistula is. Anyone? Yeah? Okay. You don't know what fistula is, right?
I'm sorry?
Fistula.
Oh, fistula. I know what fistula is.
No, I'm asking you. I'm helping to teach your students.
Oh, thank you.
So, now, fistula is a condition that when a woman is pregnant, in most cases, like Africa, they don't go to hospital for any antenatal checkup. And when their baby is ready to be delivered, they don't go to hospital, they stay home, hoping that they'll be able to deliver this child. So when, they are in labor for 10, 15, 20 hours, that's the only time they will rush to the hospital. In most cases, the baby would have died, and they will now try to help them deliver. So when that woman when they're able to deliver the child, they will have stillbirth, and what will happen is the vagina of the woman will be ruptured. So because the baby's head has been pressing on the cervix for so long, all the muscles, everything will just be dead. So after the delivery of the baby, the uterus now becomes very weak. So every liquid that comes around that side, you're not able to control it. But then when that happens in Africa, they don't see it as a medical condition, they see it as witchcraft. But it is a condition. And they just had to do an operation to stitch you back, and you become a normal person. But when you are in that condition, it is the worst thing any woman would want for themselves. Because the smell that comes out of those liquids that will come out of you that you have no control over, you will not be able to sit with one person, not to talk of a congregation. Not possible. Everybody will run away from you. So that's why it is associated to witchcraft, because everybody wants to run away from witch, right? So fistula is one of the causes. And then when you look at the rate of, when we're talking about early marriage, you're marrying off a child that cannot demand to ask a husband, before I have sex with you, can we do HIV and AIDS test? So I know my position, you know your position. They will just have sex because that man is not even going to ask that child's consent. They're just going to force themselves on a child and then have sex with that child. If that man is carrying HIV, automatically they pass it on to the child. So eventually, the rate of HIV/AIDS, instead of going down, will just go up. And that are the things what the Hands of Our Girls have been fighting to reduce. Because if we can control rape, if we can control early marriage, and if we can control teenage pregnancy, automatically we'll have reduced HIV/AIDS victims, we'll have reduced fistula victims, and we will have reduced infant and maternal death in our communities, in our country. So, but the way women are perceived in Africa, unfortunately, this is the reason why we're still called the dark continent. Of course, yes, we don't have electricity anyway. With such chronic situation that was in our country, we adopt the following strategy approaching to remedy the situation. Because the president inherited such a diabolical situation when it comes to the value of women in the country, rape was basically the most fashionable. Rape was Gucci bag in Syria that everybody wants to do. So the president decided to declare a state of emergency immediately. With that state of emergency, then you know it's not business as usual anymore. Then we reviewed the Sexual Offences Act of 2012. Since 2012, they have not checked anything on gender issues, as if nothing has changed. It was only when we got to 2019 that the president decided to now start to change the laws in favor of women. We launched the aggressive national campaign. You've just seen the Hands Off Our Girls campaign. And the reason why our campaign is aggressive and unapologetic is the fact that if we know that you are a rapist, we'll call your name publicly, and I'll do it where I know I have nothing less than 10,000 people watching. So now it is for you to go and explain yourself. But for it to be successful, you have to be able to have partnership. The partnership I require at that time is not with my husband, because my husband is already a partner of this journey. We needed to have the people to accept this. We needed the people to see Hands Off Our Girls as their own campaign. We need them to understand that we are not only trying to protect our children who are seated in the lodge, because for you to come inside the lodge and rape my child, I believe you yourself know that's not the place you want to even smile, not to talk of raping my child. But there are those children that are in those communities where their safety is in the hands of perpetrators. Those are the people we were trying to protect. Those are the people we were fighting to help. And when you campaign, you go there. But when you leave, who now remain, who stays there to make sure your campaign is enforced? And that's why we decided that the best thing we can do is reach out to as many people as possible in diverse situations. We had the military. We had the military who came on board and support our campaign 110%. We had the police that came and support from the day we start. We make sure we had the gender desk from the military, the gender desk from the police. People will not understand why we were able to, we require their presence. They will be scared of me, but in theory, but I don't wear uniform. In Africa, when I see a military man coming, I know there's trouble. If I see the police coming, I know they are coming to arrest me. So we had to get the police and the military to buy into our campaign. And everywhere we go, the police and the military, they will go on the podium and they will use the mic and they will let the people know they are in support of this campaign. So then you know, you don't have anywhere to go and hide anymore, because you know, they're supposed to protect you. They're telling you don't do this, so which means you should not do it. We had those people. And then we realized that the people who actually have the custodian of our native laws are our paramount chiefs. We have to get every paramount chief to be part of the Hands Off Our Girls campaign. 197 paramount chiefs. They all have their communities. We were able to talk to them. We were able to hand over the campaign to them. And we make them know that this campaign will not be successful if they don't support it. So the campaign, we remove it from being our campaign and make it their campaign. So whenever they sit in their congregation, because they are the custodians of our traditional law, they are the ones who call their people every day. I don't live in those villages. If I go there, I'm going to return back to my own place. But they live there. So they are the ones who will eventually call their people and say, I have a new law. And in my law, in this my own small place, you cannot rape a child. If you do, you are going to be banished from here. So which means you have a choice. It's either you remain in your community or you will have to be running away from one community to another. So this is why the campaign was very, very unapologetic, very aggressive, because we have lots of people who were actually campaigning on our behalf. And then we introduced the religious side of the campaign, because the people who sit and doing all of this early marriage are our pastors and our imams. We had to go to them and tell them it is wrong, you cannot allow this. We have to go to them and talk about menstruation and tell them why it is important for them to be talking about menstruation. We go to them and talk to them about rape and how it's affecting our community, our country, and how it's actually making our country look extremely bad, not only nationally but internationally. So every Sunday, every pastor, I can tell you, in one small community in Sierra Leone, you'll have 3 churches, you'll have 3 mosques. So they meet every day. They meet every day. So every day, a community gathers. And when they gather in front of these pastors, before they start their sermon, they will talk about the hands of our girls. Before they end their sermon, they will talk about the hands of our girls. They will talk about sanitary pad. They will talk about the need of sanitary pad. They will talk about the need of our girls being in school. So we have so many people who we are pushing. But the only reason why they managed to push this for us is the fact that before we start our campaign, we went to them, seek their blessing, make sure they know we are not going to, we tell them outright. I sat in front of every one of them. I said, I know I will not succeed if you don't bless me. So when you give ownership to people, when you give them the respect they deserve, and you tell them, help me so together let us succeed, you will succeed. But if I had gone to them and said, because I am the first lady of Sierra Leone, you will have to answer to me by force, there will be no hands of our girls today. Wow. So I want to say thank you. So while we were getting people doing all of this on our behalf, we also now have the government structure that is excellency. I am not government, so I cannot change policies. But the best thing is that I speak behind the one that changed it. So, you know, as the campaign was getting stronger, we established a specialized structure, one-stop centers around the country. We're able to have a special court, a court that sits only for rape victims. So before, when you are raped, it will take you 2 years to get justice. Now, if your case comes to court, it will take you 2 weeks to get justice. So, through the policy, again, through government's involvement, penalties are changed. Before, your maximum penalty you will have when you rape a child is 2 years. Even if that child dies, 2 years. But now, the minimum you will get is 15 years. Hello? And if in an event where that child dies, you know you're going to prison for life. So all through that also, at this point, we had the Ministry of Gender, Social Welfare and Children's Affairs as one ministry. So the president sees it fit that for us to be able to actually succeed in what we wanted to do, we have to have a standalone ministry. So they divide the ministry. We now have a standalone Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs only. And then you have the Ministry of Social Welfare and Religious Affairs alone. So then we have now a ministry that concentrates on the welfare of our children. While social services provide the services, then the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs concentrate in making sure the policies are put in place for the safety of our children. But the most profound of all deliberate actions to change the narrative and to give women the security they need was the introduction of the free quality education. There is nothing as more powerful an equalizer than education. Education is the only equalizer that will make me and you sit on the same table and no one will know who you are, no one will know who I am. Education is the only way that Bill Gates' son will sit on a table and my son will sit on a table. Believe you me, if you are educated, you'll be more relevant, you'll be more important than that child who has money. The president now introduced the free quality education. And the importance of the free quality education. Before free quality education, most of the kids that goes to school in Sierra Leone are boys, because girls are always prepared to be married off at a very tender age. So they don't have the privileges to think about future university and all of that. But with free quality education, parents are now not liable to choose between their children who goes to school. Everybody can go to school. So as long as that girl wants to go to school, they go to school. So now we have more girls in school, we have more girls passing public examination, we have the girls leading on everything called education in the country as I speak. I mean, like I said, now have speedier access to justice, we have a standalone ministry, boys and girls are in school, The president now decided that to keep all of these girls in school and the boys in school, there are things that we need to do. Now they have transportation to take people to school so that they go to school. But teaching and learning material is provided for every child in Sierra Leone so that they have in some places where food is scarce or it's difficult to get, the government provides school feeding for children going to school. In those areas where we have school feeding, we have the highest rate of students in school. Because now no child, in fact, even children who are not old enough to go to school will have their plate and spoon ready for lunchtime to go to any school and make sure they have food to eat. I see the need because even with all of these opportunities being given to them, our girls were still struggling. Girls were missing out of school at least 80 days a year just because of menstruation. I know for something like that, for people like you, it looks like, how is that possible? Well, because they don't have the right thing to use when they see their menstruation. And if you're using cloth, their cloth, me and you know, if you pour water in cloth, it goes down, right? When we see our menstruation, it's blood, it's liquid. So if it stains the cloth, it messes up their uniforms. What happens? They start to provoke them and they don't come to school. In some cases, they don't even come to school again. So I thought, you know what, for these girls not to be missing out of school with this kind of opportunity that is there. When I was going to school, I did not have that opportunity. I mean, a classmate of mine is here. We went to school together. We did not have that opportunity. We were using rags. We use rags, you know, when you see your menstruation, you know, and it's like, that's the 4 days where you have to be so conscious of everything that is around you because you know something is happening to your body. But now, I mean, coming to Europe and then understand that I can have sanitary pad every corner. So my daughter does not understand what's the fuss about sanitary pad. She will not understand because she has sanitary pad. It's always there for her. But I will understand because I did not have it. When I was seeing my menstruation, I was even terrified to go and tell my mom. Because telling your mom that you've seen your menstruation, the first thing they do, they'll take you to the doctor to check if you did not just go and have sex and someone has discharging you, you know. They don't even believe you until you're checked by a doctor and the doctor says, yes, sir, it's a menstruation. And then when you come home, you now start to think like, what do we do now? The next thing you think about is they introduce you to filthy cloth that gives you bacteria, that gives you infection, that you don't clean properly, there's no hygiene around it, or you have no choice but to use it. I thought, no, my girls are not going to go through this. So we introduced sanitary pad for them. Today, they use it. I still want more girls to do more. They introduced free tuition fee from pre-primary, primary, secondary to university for all girls doing STEM subjects. Every girl doing STEM subjects now is released in the government of Sierra Leone until you finish university. So this has helped us. But then, you know, like I said, I'm Oliver Twist. If you give me, I'll come for more, I'll ask for more. While we were creating all of these opportunities within Sierra Leone, I thought, okay, now we have to get the United Nations to listen to us. The United Nations need to understand that it can be done. Because all of these things I'm telling you that Sierra Leone, a very small country with 8 million population, is achieved in doing, you won't find in many parts of the world. Not possible. The United States of America don't have a GIRI Act, which guarantees 30% of all elected position and appointed position for women. Those seats are safe. It can only be taken by a woman. Sierra Leone has that today. in the United Kingdom, nobody gave me sanitary pad for free. Nobody. But hey, we're doing it because we know it's needed. When I was in college in the United Kingdom, I need sanitary pad, but I had to buy it. The only good thing is, it's available. I can buy it. While in Sierra Leone, it's not available. If it is, it's expensive. They can't afford it. So there are so many things we have done that a lot of countries we could. In 5 years, with all of these changes, in 5 years, we are able to reduce our maternal mortality rate by 60%. Not just. And they even came to Sierra Leone and asked, how did you do this? You know. So before coming to the United Nations and ask for resolutions and say we want this resolution and that resolution, we make sure we are able to put our homes together first. When we put our homes together. So when you come to the United Nations, you are able to say to them, I've done this. Why don't you also talk about it? At the United Nations, I can tell you, a lot of men could not say the word menstruation. They were terrified. It's a terrified subject. Menstruation. Ooh, if I ask Mike now to talk about menstruation, we won't do it. I don't think he would do that, right? Because you have to understand it. It's understanding the problem. So that's why when I speak around the world, I am going there to make people, because I don't expect people to know everything. Because I don't know everything. And if I say to you, I am a champion of gender issues, I'll be lying to you. What I can say to you, I am a voice that refuses to be silenced. Because a lot of women has walked this journey. And it is because they started this journey. That's the reason we are inspired to continue the journey. And because now I refuse to be silenced, I am hoping that you will also walk my journey as well. I am not tired to go places. When before arriving here, I had to go through 9 countries. You know, I've been talking to a point where yesterday at Harvard University, I said to them, I don't want to talk anymore. But I needed to talk. Yeah. Because we have young minds here. We have women and men. The diversity that we have today is the fact that we have men who understand our problems. But we also need to make them feel safe. Let them understand that we are not in competition with them. We are looking for partnership. We want them to understand our problems. And when they still know that they are still the king of the jungle, they are going to allow us go, because when you have an empowered woman, you have a safe home. When you have an empowered woman, you know your children are going to be educated. So that is what we want to say to the men around the world. Don't see us as threat. See us as your allies. Work with us. And this table is so large, don't even help us bring our chair there, because we can carry our own chair. We can lift our own chair and just come and sit. When we come, all we ask from you, give us a little space. And when we sit, you won't regret it. Because the advantage we have, we multitask. You don't multitask. So we can bring more. Am I speaking to you, sir? We bring more on the table. So we can take care of you. We can take care of our children. We can take care of the home. You don't have to do anything. All you need to do is smile. And we will do all the work. As long as you give us the space, we're willing to do all the work. But coming back to my lecture is to say, when you want to ask people for something, you have to be doing something first. You can't go empty-handed. You can't come to the United Nations and say, well, I want this because I am the first lady of Sierra Leone. Am I the first lady? There's been first ladies all over the place. But it was easy for me to come to the United Nations and say, I want a World Day. And when they said, why? I present that to them and said, this is the reason why I think I want a World Day. And if you don't believe this, I'll bring allies for you that will tell you we want a World Day. And on that day, when we were at the United Nations, we have the Vatican, we have Islamic Relief, and what was more powerful is a Muslim woman standing in front of a congregation and then had the support of the Catholic Church by my side. It can be done. I didn't use religion to get to that. But I believe when I asked them to come and support this process, they did not even realize that I am a Muslim. I think they saw the name Fatima. There's Fatima in the Bible, so they believed that Fatima. But the good thing is, the feeling of knowing that there was no religious issue in this resolution, there was no continental issue. It's all 193 countries said, look, this is not something we even want to debate about. We need to pass it. They need it, and they are supposed to have it. So I'm very grateful. Let's say November 18, people who have suffered rape, they don't heal. That I want you to know. It doesn't matter what kind of justice they get, they don't heal. But when we give them the opportunity to be able to talk to one another, it helps them. And that's what I was fighting for, to give them that space so that on this day, they can congregate, they can pray together, they can hold each other's hand, and then they will see each other and know that they are not in their journey alone. November 18 was given, we've started commemorating that. And I also realized that the reason why the rate of justice when it comes to rape victims is so low, because how can I be a victim of rape when I come to the justice system, you're asking me to pay for the lawyers? I will never get justice. So I came back to the United Nations and said, look, please, we need access to justice. Give access to justice so that a victim, we cannot victimize them twice. Allow them, when they go to the justice system, somebody has to represent them. And today, we have. So that's how we are able to get not one resolution, but two resolutions passed by the United Nations. And when we present the resolution, we did not present the resolution for Sierra Leone. We asked them it should be a global resolution so that the whole world should benefit from it. So, now trying to get faith leaders, trying to get academic institutions, because that's what, with everything I've been doing, we've got all of these other people, religious leaders, the Catholic Church, Islamic Relief, all of this, everybody is on board. Now, what I'm trying to do now is to come to educators. The places our children spend more time after our houses is in schools, colleges, universities. Now, how do we get educators to understand that when you stand in front of your peoples, there's one thing you want to do. You don't only want to empower them with enlightenment, but you also want to empower them with the morality to know that it is their responsibility to save this world. So I come here today to say to Columbia University and to say to all the educators who are here, before you close your lectures every day, ask your people what is it that they understand, what is the meaning of peace to them. Because it is when you know what peace means, that's when you will understand what gender equality means. You will not have gender equality if you don't have peace. Without peace, you do not have development. And without development, you definitely will not have gender equality. Because equality is not only about violence, equality is not only about rape, Equality is economic safety. Equality is enlightenment and the safety of our people. When a woman walks on the street, they don't have to be looking behind their back and see who's chasing them. When a woman goes to work, they want to be paid the same pay as a man so that they are able to take care of their family. When a woman believes that, you know, their own cost is open for them, they can do what they want to do and they are appreciated. That is all we are asking for. We are not asking for anybody to go and break the World Bank and give us money. We're saying, just give us the space and then provide us with security. With security, we have peace because women don't ask for much. We only want an environment where our children are safe. We only want an environment where we feel safe for ourselves. That is what we're asking for. So if we are able to get the definition, because I am still looking for a definition of gender equality. I still don't have one. At the United Nations, every gender equality has been prioritized, except the one that a woman is asking for. If a woman asks, they don't get. So what is it that we are asking for? Are we now asking the world to say, listen, we are tired of you using us as a weapon of mass destruction every time there is war in your country. Everywhere you have war, they use women as a weapon of mass destruction through rape. Everywhere. It's not an African thing, it's a global thing. Now, why are they using us as weapons? These are things, these are questions that we should be asking. If you can now say torturing prisoners is a treaty that it's not supposed to happen, genocide is not supposed to happen, why do you think rape should be used in war? We need to ask these questions. So I'm here today to say to Colombia, I am here to ask for allies. I know I've met a lot of young people who are willing and ready to work with me on this journey. I've worked with Dr. Koreski on so many stuff, and I want to say, please, let us make this world a better place. Because the world that we're living in at the moment is a very challenging one. This world, no matter how we say we want to inspire, how do we inspire if we do not have the equality that we're looking for? Who are we inspiring? In Sierra Leone, we have changed a lot of things. We have done so much in Sierra Leone to make sure that women are safe. And we are not sorry. No woman in Sierra Leone is feeling sorry for herself today. We are happy because we have a president who sees us as equal. A president who has given us the opportunity to be able to do the things that we need to do. We must recognize that education is a very important thing in this our fight. We're talking about Sustainable Development Goal of 2030. 2030 is around the corner. It is around the corner. And we have to make sure our women and girls are educated. You're all aware that my husband reaffirmed his commitment every day when it comes to gender issues. And for that reason, everywhere I go, I have to say, I am so blessed to have the best husband in the world. I have to say this again and again and again. As the First Lady of Sierra Leone, I have not worked to upstage my husband. I have only worked to complement the things that he believes in. There are lots of African First Ladies. In fact, not Africa. There are lots of First Ladies around the world who do not have the opportunity that I have. There are a lot of First Ladies around. There are a lot of African First Ladies around the world who actually don't even have a clue what it means to be a First Lady. And my own definition is simple. If you can't serve your people, resign from the title. Call yourself, I am the housewife of the president. Another reason we take education seriously and investing heavily in it is because we believe it is the transformative force for the future of our country and generation. We are therefore very determined to continue providing free quality education for every child in Sierra Leone, to equip and prepare them for early childhood to adulthood and throughout life's journey with the knowledge, skill, and value necessary to become active agents and implementers of change. For me to conclude this, fighting for and pursuing the empowerment of women and girls to attain equality is a tough and difficult task. It is unattractive and very daunting challenge. But I always say it is a just cause, it is a fair cause, and it is a fight. It is the right thing to do, and it is a fight that we must fight, and it is a fight that we must win. This is where my drive, motivation, and aspiration come from. From those who wonder about my energy and passion, the answer is there for you. Just this March, I have honored and delivered on programs in the United Kingdom. I was in Warwick University on the 3rd, and then came to Harvard University 6th and 7th. I left Harvard University yesterday, arrived here midnight, and I am here in Columbia University today celebrating International Women's Day with you. All these are geared towards ensuring I do my bit in supporting the cause that will go towards contributing to the liberation as well as empowering women and girls to achieve their fullest potential so that we all can live in a free, fair, and just world. I therefore ask all of you here present to live by the dictate of this year's theme, invest in women, accelerate progress. I want to take this opportunity again to thank Columbia University and the Teachers College for inviting me to be here with you to celebrate this wonderful day with you all. May God bless you all. Thank you very much.